what sand has claimed inflames her muse. Her solitude in tones. What man has made, she prays to lose.
Leap of faith. We took 9 artists to the desert. Ryan, Chantel, Colin, Phil, Sophie, Dalton, Millie, and Sarah. And Nan. We drove down to Orderville, Utah, spent 4 days in a house together, and this is what happened. You can express an entire universe of ideas in one story. So we're just here encapsulating the universe in the story of 4 days. All of the music in this film was written and recorded during those 4 days at Red Hollow Ranch.
Menace music.
So when I got to the house, I felt tentative actually because I didn't know everybody, and also a really different setting than I'm used to working in, and kind of walked in, and I think there were maybe like as many guitars as people strewn all around, and there were all these instruments, and the music was already like going, it was going from all the corners, and I went up into my little room and kind of caught my breath, and I was like, I wonder what I'm doing here, kind of feeling.
So cool.
So then she talked me into. Hey, wait, can I get a quick picture with everybody out on this range? Yeah, that's what I was doing too.
There was so much warmth and camaraderie and energy that was really easy to find my footing. There was a lack. I think what's almost more important than what was there was what wasn't, and what wasn't there was the culture of comparison. It was just like banished from the house. And so I recognize that because it's what I do at the writing table, is I do everything in my power to opt out of the field of comparison so we can do something else. And that's what was going on in that house. We were doing everything else, but we weren't caught in the cultural habits that are so oppressive and so around us most of the time. They bury our songs before they're born, is what happens in the culture of comparison. And that was just not there in the desert. And that has to do with a space holding that is almost invisible, and it has everything to do with who Sarah is and what she called for, what she invited to come. And, all of us answering to that with the holy yes. She prepared us for that opportunity, and then she held it, and then we all held it together. That's how it works,
I think when we were sitting on the porch, we all started to realize maybe what we were in for. This is everybody getting to know each other.
That's where we are.
I'm following the Own It bus in his ride, and really just walking right in the door. He's like, hey, I need you. what's your name? Millie, I need you to play some drums. Here, sit here and play this drum. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, just like that with the snap of a finger, like, okay, here's a new environment and here's the chance for you to get outside yourself and like get into this vibe. Phil walks in the door and I look up at him and as I'm like trying to drum and I said, this is ridiculous. 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 This is
I don't think
ridiculous.
I've been in the house for more than an hour or set down many of my things when Ryan had already made his way into it, the first recording, and told me I should add something to this song. So before we went to bed on the first night, I had laid bass tracks on 2 different songs, which I hardly had time to get the instrument in tune before Ryan was ready to hit record. And his policy seemed to be first take is the one that we wanted. We rolled with that a lot of the time, though in my perfectionism, I frequently had to make him let me do a second take.
Okay, here we go. Quiet on the set.
Cool. As far as Colin, Colin was the musician of the group. One of the main things about Colin, I would say, that is maybe different than other musicians I've worked with in the past is just a general lack of ego and lack of having to have control. He very much said yes to anything and everything and to play on everything and adding value without judgment. Without Colin, the whole album would not have had the vibe that it had of real musicianship. Everything you would want in somebody that you were going to spend 4 days in a house with a bunch of instruments. Like Colin was the man to have, and I love him on a personal note.
I think one of my favorite moments of the trip was being in the kitchen hanging out with Sophie while I think she was making food, and we looked up and saw what became known as Bonus Dog sitting on the bench outside looking at us through the window. So we later discovered from one of the neighbors that his name may or may not have been Yeti, but for the first several hours he was around, we just called him Bonus Dog.
Oh, the presence was great. She was always in such a good mood. She was just always, like kind of a bright spot. The kitchen was lively because of that, and there was always the way that she even cut up the food, the way that she prepared it and displayed it on the table. Just always something to be able to eat, and the whole overall vibe of that was just, it was comforting.
I'm absolutely certain this is the first time that anyone has ever fed me while I was playing guitar also.
Oi, vey.
By the end of the first day, I think we realized that the leap of faith was going to be so much more than we realized. The next day we set out into the desert, guitar in hand. There was a slot canyon within walking distance of the house we were staying in, and this is an example of my trust of the land. This is the slot canyon. I believe this is Red Hollow, which the ranch is named after. The dogs were so happy, and I could really see and feel everybody unfurling, the city sloughing off of them, and the weight, even the weight in the ears when all the traffic and the to-do lists and like all the electronics and the cars and the metallic hum of the city was replaced with soft scuffing of sand and palms over red rock, and everything about the land is encouraging of creative expression. It's a subtlety of listening. Being pregnant in the midst of artists was an experience for sure.
Tastes great, smells good. Better than freaking. Here we go. Here we go.
All right. I'm going to talk about Chantel a little bit. It was such a privilege to meet her. You know, here's a woman who's had her voice dampened, maybe even taken, and she's gone back for it. You know, you go back for it, and it's really sacred to witness someone reclaiming their voice. And what a voice. What a voice, you know, and the drums under it too. So, yeah, what a total pleasure to be witness to her unfolding.
This is art in the stream of life. This is music as response to life. This is taking it off of the pedestal and putting it right down in the dirt. The spirit of play started just finding its way into the hearts and minds and ears of all these adults. In a way, we were nobody out there, not even adults. Because we were nobody, we became whatever we were in the moment to each other.
It's covered in calligraphy of you. I'm falling off a cliff, but I'm looking down, looking for my friends to find me. I can see a bird, but don't hear a sound. Must be warning God about me. Our feet are sinking in the sand, but I don't know where I am. 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 The rocks are speckled lavender and spotted hue.
I mean, I did feel like a little kid when we pulled up, because I knew that I had 4 days, and I, wasn't going to be doing, the 2 jobs, and I wasn't going to have the 8 kids, and I didn't know when I was going to have that opportunity again. And so it really, I told myself driving up that I was going full out without any reservations and was just going to view this as almost a last chance to create something great with other people that also wanted to create something great.
Our feet are sinking in the sand, but I don't know.
Well, I've known of Nan for a long time. I really got to experience her as an elder that I trust and that I have love for. Someone who gives the creative process a lot of space, a lot of room. Something that comes to my mind when I talk about Nan is permission. She gives you and people and me permission to be really authentically, and she pulls out a lot.
No, hey,
What's happening
don't do
over
that.
there? Is it the white
Don't do
dog?
that, white dog.
There's a white
Drop
dog.
it.
Is
Drop
he trying to
it.
eat Colin's drapery?
Shoes. Drop it.
Eating Colin's shoes?
Drop that.
Oh no.
Vita, help him not do that. Can you?
There's
No,
this-
it's done.
Is he eating the
It's
shoe?
done. I should probably go help real quick. That's the worst.
So it's worth noting that I had booked a much fancier Airbnb for this whole retreat, and through flukes and circumstance, that Airbnb reservation was canceled. This was about a week before we were supposed to leave, and I went to message owner of the Airbnb to tell him that we were coming, and it said, "Your reservation has been canceled." I thought we were going to this fancy place with a rooftop pool and hot tub. Instead, we ended up here. My God, instead we ended up here in this quaint desert cabin with great acoustics and wide open space and cactus blossoms and juniper berries and horses and hummingbirds. And it could bring me to tears for how perfect it was.
I couldn't find the words, I couldn't find a place, I couldn't find a way around the leap of faith. I couldn't find the words, I couldn't find a place, I couldn't find a way around the leap of faith.
This trip was one of my first opportunities to get to be in real time playing all of the instruments that I have spent my life loving to play, but having to frequently set a guitar down to pick up a bass and then set a bass down to run to the piano, all while Ryan followed me around with a laptop in his left hand and a microphone in his right hand. It was the most creative space I've ever been in musically, which is saying something after 25 years of spending a huge amount of time with crazy, insane musicians.
This is ridiculous.
So Nan didn't identify as a singer, but she went for a walk in the desert, and the desert gave her a song. And she came back so sweetly and said, "I have a song."
Go in the way of water, flow in the way of water. I'm following the wash. I could be changing.
If we were trying to make money or have it be a elite situation, she wouldn't have brought that song. She may have heard that song. She might have sang it to herself while she was walking, but she would not have come back into the house and said, "I have a song. Will you help me with this song?"
hymn, like a good one.
After so many years of doing a thing, becoming skillful, perhaps, for me it's easy to lose sight of that beginning feeling, that first great love. So this is a wonderful opportunity to re-experience it both in myself, but also just see it happening with some innocence and with some joy. And
So much joy. She was so happy.
yeah.
Did
And
her
that's-
joy get on you?
I mean, it's been getting all over me for days now. It reminds me of why I began.
Look at you. I'm doing
totally doing it.
Following the wash, I'm following the wash. Pink sand, red ants, powdered berries, pastel blooms on the prickly pear. I'll evaporate in desert air, become a cloud, I'll be so loud when I rain on your roof. Go in the way of water, flow in the way of water, I'm following the wash.
The way that we ended up being with people or being with each other reminds me a lot of how we are with my family, the Yuma Street crew. When you really allow yourself to settle into a community and to the presence of other people, it reminds me of our family.
There is an aspect of family, and I held them to it. Sometimes they were in it, recording and singing, and I would say, it's time for dinner. But the family dinner was a chance for everybody to stop and gather and replenish and laugh, and there is a rhythm to creativity as well.
I'm lighting a candle for our dinner. We're having tacos.
So I've known Phil for 6 years or so. And I learned more about Phil in this weekend than I've learned about him in 6 years. He's more devoted to the creative process than he is to getting an adequate amount of sleep. Something that stood out to me is he was up late in the night working on solo projects after spending all day working on communal projects. It seemed like we would have to remind him to eat. He was so addicted to this process of creating, and I loved watching him in this element because it seemed as if this is what he was made to do, like being out here in the desert in the leap of faith. We talked about Rick Rubin and Shangri-La. He really wanted to embody that container. He wanted to emulate the space, and I think that's what this was the space for creation. Phil was just down for whatever. Phil was hanging out, he was laid back, he was ready to go on any project. He was kind of secretive in his personal projects, which I thought was cool. Even when he was sitting there present with you, he wasn't slacking off. Like, he didn't need a break. You could tell his mind was going, and it wasn't a bad thing. It was something that he was craving to do.
Are you documenting that?
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking
About me?
Yeah.
About
I was
me?
talking about Secret Mall Apartment. I was telling them about it.
Oh, yeah.
And how this is one, and how you're the documenter
Yes.
of the Secret Mall Apartment, and how important your role is.
Thank you.
I was honoring your role.
My job is to create the container.
Well, you did.
Magical things to happen.
You did an amazing job of that.
Thank you. I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
That's all I want for the rest of my life. I
Cool.
just want to do my job.
So Dalton is like full of sunshine and passion. He has
his energy is so vibrant.
White Desert Yeti came up to his set. He been around the town and he knows what's going down. He came up to say, "Convene a place that I know a place where we could stay."
So for a while now, I've called Sophie and Dalton the children of the revolution. And I say, you can't fool the children of the revolution. And having them there as the generation that is coming after us, I feel like we were able to pass on things you can't pass on just by talking about them, but that have to be experienced. There's an idea of learning at the elbow of the mentor where you just follow somebody around and learn by osmosis, just by being in their presence.
I have seen the fact that I am living out 1,000 lives, loving truth and beauty, or just 1,000 lives. I never know which way to go when all these memories feel like home. Falling silent, cold and sober, my reflections growing older.
We didn't really know each other very well. I feel like we all arrived acquainted and left not just as friends, but as musical partners with a lot of trust in one another's capacities and skills and strengths and a real desire to keep working together. I really appreciated the surprise.
And then there's this whole other. Give me that third one.
Dark thoughts persist like vultures circling. Tornado threatens to stay in my skin. There must be a way to purge all these chains. A conversation about my ongoing state. A slow erasing from the day.
Starting out, I didn't know exactly what to expect. I just know we were going to go make music, and I've been with Ryan long enough to know that there would be some music made for sure. I was a little intimidated. I've done music probably just, I guess it's been about a year where I've really done it. I've always loved music, and it's kind of kept me alive, but I've never actually done music myself. So this last year with Ryan has been pretty huge for me, and trying to find my voice. And even singing at first, I'd have to be in the closet, and no one could look at me, not even Ryan. Anyway, so this was a good jump for me, and it was a scary one. Kind of put myself away for a while, away from people and everything, with some life experiences, and so to put myself back out there was a huge step. I guess a leap of faith, which is what this whole thing was about.
Slow erasing from the day.
Nan rapped. Nan and Phil became great friends. Nan and Phil spent quite a bit of time in Harvey together. He talked her into rapping, and she was thrilled.
Deciding to go on digging, doing it. What they said outside wasn't any use. Inside hiding it made it get ambitious.
there was such a flow to everything. Like, one adventure seamlessly would flow into the other, and
Ryan and Chantel are an incredible couple. They have so much trust in each other, and as I said, that was one of the themes. The trust they share lets the music flow. On the last day, we went to the Belly of the Dragon. This is the Belly of the Dragon. It was right down the road from us, this long cave. It was wonderful to end literally inside of the earth.
we were there for 4 days. That's a long time. 4 days is a long time to be with people that you don't really know. And it went beautifully.
To hear the call of the desert is a strange thing because it's actually silent. It's just a knowing, like a remembering, like when a dream comes back to you and you couldn't really even put it into words, or when somebody looks at you and you know that they love you.
Yay. That's wild.
Nan and I had a moment in this cave where we just got to sit and have a small moment with each other, a moment of appreciation, a moment of like, wow, look at you and look at me and look at us at such different parts of our lives. And for some reason, we're here in this belly of the dragon together. So that is a moment that I will remember for a long time.
There were bonds formed on this trip. An undeniable experience of the truth of things. This was a space for our voices, our spirits to unfurl, and unfurl they did. What might happen if you just take the leap of faith? There's so much grace that meets you. There's this question of value. What makes art valuable? What makes art successful? Could it be just that it happened?
A project like this, a leap of faith such as this, it must begin with a dream and a dreamer. Sarah is both. She is the dreamer and that which is dreamt. To say that she created this retreat, this encounter with wild creation in the desert, would be to insinuate that she is other than these things, but she is not. She is herself wild creation and the desert incarnate, spacious and sacred, a guardian of stark truth and hidden beauty. Without her dream, the dream that is her way, none of this could have been.
I'm on my green motorbike and I'm flying my kite. It's a butterfly type, so I'm feeling alright. Riding by the river, now I'm in the sun. Flew my kite past the belly, now my day is done. Gonna stop by the rock shop on my way home for a donut and a meteorite. You can break your own geode. You can break your own geode.
Phil here. The Leap of Faith trip had, I think it's maybe the most dynamic experience I've had. Like a bunch of puzzle pieces, and alone were just that. And then somehow when we went on this retreat, like the puzzle was put together and it was just like amazing. I'm changed because of it. My career path has changed because of it. That's passion coming to fruition in a tangible way.
On the last night, we had a listening party where Ryan got to play all the songs, and oh my God, we could not believe everything that we had created. So naturally, each person really fell into their role. I gathered all the people. Ryan gathered all the songs. We made an album. We made a film. We made a family. We made a ritual. No one could ever convince us that what we did was not of the highest value.
You know, when there were still even 2 days left and I could see the end coming, I could feel those weights coming back of depression and anxiety and wondering what messes I'd have to clean up when I got back. And so I did feel those weights start to come on, but as I left, there was hope that there were other people that wanted to create without judgment, and that I wasn't alone in a world where I often feel alone. Which is when I got back from the trip, I still actually continued to write like I was on the trip. So in that respect, there has been hope again, that we're not just alone creating in a vacuum, but that there's a community of people that want to create and add value to each other's work. Yeah, that's hopeful.
It just worked. It wasn't like somebody like having to orchestrate or even really direct it. There was points of convergence. Like you don't know what a creative process looks like until you're just kind of in it.
I always knew. It's expand and contract. You contract around something and you concentrate your energy, and then you gotta expand and like unfurl, and then you come back together, and that's just how life pulses.
Maybe I don't know how far this actually could go. There is a sense of seeing a real magic and a real purpose in it that is there to be explored.
Why? Why make this film? Why are we doing this? Like, why would you not let just the 4 beautiful days be 4 beautiful days, and then why create this thing and go through the hours and hours of editing and all of that? And I said it really comes from something that Nan taught me early on, which is you never know who your stories are for.
Making this is a way for us to take what is a very deep internal experience we had, something we could have very well just left there or just carried with us silently as a transformative experience, but to say it out loud and then to turn it into an act, a declaration to the universe. It helps the magic. It moves the magic forward, releases out into space a story and a narrative where this could be just the first of many such experiences. And if we don't say something about it, do something about it, we may limit that possibility. And it's also an invitation that just goes out open-ended into the world. If there's another artist who needs this type of experience and who will benefit from it, we've just issued them an invitation.
Okay. Very good. Next one.
My experience of the trip was probably different in that I just had a loss in my family, my mom, like my grandmom. I took a leap of faith and went down there knowing I'd have to turn around and come right back. I was in reflection, in quiet reflection most of the time during the trip, but I did feel like when I left, I was more illuminated by the peace of the desert and the cycle of life that it showed me. Even when our time is done, that our footprints are still there in the sand. The camaraderie of the group, the collective of the group held me in that grieving time and space. I was able to experience the richness of emotion, at the same time being surrounded by an uplifting, friendly energy, an excitement to create, to honor this life and this journey.
But mostly, we came for the art of sound, of written word, of the moment, of the desert, and of our belonging. Because life wants to come through us, and we have spent our time. Now, this stolen time, impossible time, wee small hours and midnight madness tours, honing a craft, widening our channels of joy and sorrow. And if there is a God, God was thrilled. This happened once and never again.
Mom's known as Sarah or Sarah to my bleeding heart. Mostly she's the reason we all here, how we got our new start. Calling on the bass man, he figured out the space land. Musical is Graceland, picturesque as Tarzan. I'm a fan and welcome to the fam, man. Chantel, same goes for you. Drums on this track, hella found the groove. Coloring books and chilling in nooks, delivering hooks and never seem shook while chilling with crooks. Nantucket, that's how I hear it in my head. River like attention brought me back from the dead. Alive and now I'm thriving, give me livelihood instead. Hoping for a purpose of the salty lake get fed. Understand.
Before we left, we said thank you to the land. Thank you to the desert. I dug a hole in the earth. We buried the bones. From the bone song, we buried the flowers that were listening to us play our music. Reciprocity is part of the creative relationship that we learned about while we were there. And then there are some creatures that just really lack reverence. Colin was so happy that White Desert Yeti was sitting right next to him. He really loved it. Thank you, White Desert Yeti.
No one misses us back home. I'm sure they're glad that we're gone. I'm sure they wish that we would stay out on the road forever.
An orange pill half chewed on the bench, a symbol of my innocence. I left my shoes there on the steps. They were covered in a muddy red. And I fell asleep next to the best. But I wondered where old Colin slept. I stayed up half the night. I was just so worried that he slept alone. Yeah, no one misses us back home. I'm sure they're glad that we're gone. I'm sure they wish that we would stay out on the road forever. Yeah, no one misses us back home. I'm sure they're glad that we're gone. I'm sure they wish that stay out on the road forever. Phil got trapped inside the van, but Sarah swore he'd understand if we lit it all up in a fire so grand that they could see it from the Milky Way. And these dogs kept sniffing at my leg. I begged these dogs to never beg. I was by the fireplace when I hit my head, and now there's blood that's running down my face. And no one misses us back home. I'm sure they're glad that we're gone. I'm sure they wish that we would stay out on the road forever. No one misses us back home. I'm sure they're glad that we're gone. I'm sure they wish that we would stay out on the road forever. Take it, come. Yeah, no one misses us back home. I'm sure they're glad that we're gone. I'm sure they wish that we would stay out on the road forever. Yeah, no one misses us back home. I'm sure they're glad that we're gone. I'm sure they wish that we would stay out on the road forever.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Dalton.
Thank you, Prayer.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Red Hollow Ranch and Hummingbirds.
Thank you, Nan.
And thank you, Water.
Thank you, Millie.
Thank you, Sky. Way to be, Harvey.
Thank you, Vida. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you, guitars. Thank you, microphones. Thank you, mysterious desert spirit incarnated as a dog named Yeti.
Thank you, flowers. Thank you, fire.
Thank you, music.
Thank you to the earth.
Thank you for joy. Thank you, stone. Thank you, sand. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Chantel.
Thank you, love. Thanks, Red Hollow Ranch Band.
No, we don't wanna go.
We've got a long way to go to get home. We've got a long way to go to get home. But we don't wanna go. No, we don't wanna go. We don't wanna